Thank you very much. No, you're too kind. You're too kind. A very good afternoon, a good morning, by the way. It's morning here. A very good morning, a good afternoon, maybe if you're somewhere else, and a very good evening if you're somewhere else. Welcome back to Big Mouth, and this is the Big Mouth Daily Live. So, for the first time since the inception of this channel, I have no DC updates. I'm not actually a DC channel. Obviously, I'm a big DC stan, so I like talking about DC. Now, when I first started this channel, there was loads of stuff to talk about. There was the Snyder Cut. Will it or won't it happen? There was many DC updates. At the moment, there's not much going on because we've got all these films in production. We've only got one film coming out this year, and that's James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. So not much rolling at the moment, but I have got multiple updates and articles to read you about a variety of subjects from the entertainment industry. Where are we? Iquen okay. Morning, bruv. We are all back. Yes, morning, Iquen. Bobcat. Hey, Mickey. Good morning to you, Bobcat. Or good evening, where you are, by the way. Iquen Aqua. What? Blasphemous. No DC update. The world is ending. Yeah. No DC updates. Anyway, not that I can find. I mean, some people really look with a fine-tooth comb. I look on Twitter. I look on the sites. There's nothing that interesting going on. So anyway, I found some articles which we're going to talk about. Now, remember, you can follow me on Twitter, @MoviesTVMad. Bobcat, shot my shot with the girl. How did it go? Well done. Ronnie Dodge, morning, mate. I feel rubbish, though. Oh, dear. Well, I've been up since 6. I've got my dad even out of bed, done breakfast, washed the sheets, hung them up, and now I had a cigarette, and now I'm ready. It worked. Did you get in there, bruv? Did you do anything? I'm joking. It worked. Wow. Well, there you go. You see what happens when you listen to me? Not enough people listen to me. This bald man has got a lot of experience, but they don't listen to me because I ain't got a million fucking subs, right? Ronnie Dodge. Hey, Bobcat. So should we get on with the show? Right, let's get on with the show. So, any Dexter fans in the house? Probably not, but we're going to talk about Dexter. Dexter, how Deb can return in season 9 as the new Harry. I kind of like this take. This is by John Atkinson of Screen Rant. Despite her death, there's a perfect way for Deborah Morgan to return for Dexter season 9 by having her replace Harry as Dexter's imaginary guide. Iquen okay, you don't look all dude. You don't look all dude. You look great. Thank you, my friend. Iquen. That's Iquen okay. Ronnie Dodge, I just feel a bit hungover. Sorry, mate. There's no need to apologise to me, mate. There's nothing wrong with getting shit-faced and feeling bad the next day. And, you know, I hope you hang around. But if you can't hang around, I mean, I totally understand. Just make sure you like, share and subscribe. And you rewatch it later. Bobcat, not yet. NGL, I've learned the nice guy thing doesn't always work. So thanks, Mickey. You've got to be confident. Yeah, listen, even if you're not confident, you can pretend to be confident. Bobcat, hey, Ronnie Dodge. Right. Dexter's established history has already provided the perfect answer to how Deborah Morgan could return for the reboot by having her replace Harry in Dexter season 9. Loosely based on the novels by Jeff Lindsay, the once acclaimed series concluded an 8-season run with an underwhelming whimper. Nearly a decade later, it was announced that Dexter would return for 10 new episodes, with original showrunner Clyde Phillips and star Michael C. Hall returning. Expectations were immediately high. After all, the Dexter reboot could offer even darker serial killer drama, but also make up for the controversial decisions of the final season. This is my opinion about Dexter. Ronnie Dodge, I'm sticking around having a coffee at the moment. Coffee will work. I haven't had a Nescafe for years. I normally have a cup of tea. Now, what I want to say about Dexter is Clyde Phillips was a great opening showrunner. Dexter's biggest mistake was it kept on changing showrunners. Now, I think the first 4 seasons were on point, but then they started watering it down and trying to become mainstream. But the biggest problem with Dexter was the killing of Rita. The killing of Rita was a big twist, and it was sensational, but that character gave the show balance. And after that, they kept on trying to find love interest for him. and I just didn't like that element of the show. I didn't mind how they ended the show. I wasn't as angry as a lot of people. Ronnie Dodge, I don't know. That's Bobcat, still shocked it worked. Your soccer facts help too. Oh, brilliant. Billy, Manchester United glazes out. Hello, Ronnie Dodge. I was thinking we will probably get Benjamin's take on the 89 Batman theme in the Flash movie. That's a good point, actually. Of course, we've already had it in the DCEU via the guy who originally composed it in Justice League. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia glazes out. Yo, brother, how are you doing? Very well, Kurt. I hope you're okay. Debate has raised to which members, if any, of the original cast could also return. Harry Morgan, actor James Remar, insisted that none of them have been asked back. Newcomers like Jamie Chung, however, have seemingly suggested otherwise. It's interesting, Jamie Chung always gets roles, doesn't she? I mean, she's incredibly fit. As such, rumours have persisted among fans, with many using social media posts as potential evidence, with Dexter Season 9 relocating the eponymous serial killing vigilante to upstate New York. It remained unclear how the Miami-based characters would be weaved logically into the plot. That being said, there is one past character unbound by such restraints and could appear freely without fear of the contrivance. Deborah Morgan, having died in the original Dexter series finale. The way has already been paid for her to take over from Harry as an imaginary presence in Dexter's life. Throughout Dexter's original run, his adopted father serves as something of a spiritual guide. Having originated the titular Harry's code, the figment was the embodiment of those roles and the closest thing Dexter had to a conscience. The hallucinatory Harry was an interesting sounding board for Dexter as he wrestled with his emotions and various issues. Over time, however, following multiple revelations, Dexter became increasingly disillusioned with Harry, who could arguably be considered the show's true villain. Equally, by the ending of Dexter, the trope had been entirely played out, persisting merely due to a route commitment to the established formula. As such, it was almost a relief when Dexter said goodbye to Harry and everything the man had come to represent within his complex psyche. Actually, I liked Harry and I wasn't bored of that trope. Bobcat, this is officially my favourite YouTube community. I mean, not only is it fun, but you changed my life, Mickey. Cheers. Well, it's really nice to know that, Bobcat, and I'm changing people's lives. Hopefully for the better, and I'm not sending them to the dark path, but yeah. I'm a kind of person that does give advice and nobody listens to it because people don't like the fucking truth, but there you go. I have got an epilogue of experience and people should really use me as a sounding board. Conversely, though, the duo had their rocky spells. Dexter's trust in Deb never waned, even when he still believed that he was incapable of emotions. Dexter loved Deb. As twisted and nonsensical as things might have gotten during Dexter's final seasons, Deb remained equally committed to Dexter. Yes, she was in love with him in the end. That remained so even after Deborah learned the truth about Dexter's murderous ways, with her seemingly still absolving and supporting him right up until the show's end. Whether or not fans agreed with that eventual mentality, it was the note that Dexter and Deb parted on. And with it established that Dexter Season 9 won't retcon what came before, it will remain part of the show's canon. Deb knew Dexter fully like nobody else ever had, and was his true constant. As such, it would make all the sense in the world for a figment of her to have become Dexter's new guiding influence during the intervening years. Deb would be the perfect person to keep Dexter from going completely off the deep end and more in line with whatever code he would next follow. Perhaps even more importantly, it would allow Dexter to resume a familiar dynamic, but in an entirely fresh way. Deborah was, after all, lovably brash and foul-mouthed counterpart for Dexter's calculating stoicism. By having her in Harry's place, the show could recapture some of lost humour and include the kind of bickering but heartfelt exchanges that Dexter fans love so much from the adopted siblings. Of course, it wouldn't entirely make up for the erroneous mistake of killing Deb off in the first place. Still, it would make an interesting way to bring the talented Jennifer Carpenter back. And while it won't change the Dexter series finale, let's say that again. Won't change the Dexter series finale was one of TV's worst endings. It wasn't, by the way. You're talking shit. The Dexter season 9 episodes could at least recontextualize it into a stepping stone to something great. Now, this is the problem with people. There's nothing wrong with killing Deb off. It's part of the tragedy of being Dexter. He's this kind of anti-hero. You've got to have sacrifices. So, you know, at the end of the day, I don't think it was a bad finale. I liked how it ended, but I think the show lost its swing from season 5 onwards anyway. But I like this take. I think Deb being his kind of talking to him and being this imaginary person who talks to him would be a great replacement for Harry. Deborah Carpenter and Michael C. Hall, what used to be married, but they split up. I think they're on good terms, so I think should be willing to come back as well. Who wouldn't be willing to come back to one of the best shows ever made? So I'm looking forward to this revival. Dexter was one of my favourite shows for 4 years. It was sensational. Michael won Emmys, Golden Globes, and not Golden Globes. Was it Golden Globes? I don't know. Yeah, Golden Globes as well. So he is a fantastic actor. Even fought a bout of cancer while he was on the show. So he's a tremendous guy. You won't see him on social media. I compare him to Freddie Highmore, who played Norman Bates in Bates Motel. Ronnie Dodge, note to self, listen to Mick. He gives amazing life advice. You're a great guy, Mick. Thank you very much, Ronnie. Bobcat, I mean, one less thing to be worried about now. Plus, she's great, and I would just be the perfect nice guy. As usual, if it wasn't for you, it's because of you, Mickey, that I'm finally dating her. It's like that end bit in Superman the movie. Thanks to you again. Thanks to you, Superman. This country is safe. Don't thank me, Bobcat. We're all part of the same team. Night. Ronnie Dodge, so happy for you, Bobcat. Bobcat, you deserve so many more subscribers. I don't know how you don't. I mean, everyone is missing out, man. I know. It's because I don't try hard. I don't advertise. I'm not constantly sharing videos. I decided to put out a channel and see how it does naturally. And it's done what it's done. Not everyone can be successful. I'm successful in other walks of life, so I'm just going to have to take it on the chin. And it's a bit of fun anyway, isn't it? Bobcat, thanks, Ronnie Dodge, and thanks for listening to me all those days. You're welcome. So, that's Dexter. A great idea for Deb to come back. Will she? Will these other characters come back? Very excited for this revival. So we go on. So now we're going to talk about Friends. I know, I don't think we've ever spoken about Friends on this channel. Ronnie Dodge, welcome, mate. Friends producer responds to whether or not Ross and Rachel were on a break. Friends executive producer Kevin S. Bright shares his take on Ross and Rachel's infamous breakup and the subsequent we were on a break debate by Shean Allen of Screen Rant. Friends producer Kevin S. Bright has revealed his take on whether Ross and Rachel were on a break. The highly anticipated Friends reunion special was a huge success 17 years after the show ended. It brought all 6 cast members back together, revisiting iconic sets and reenacting fan-favourite moments. The special, which premiered on HBO Max, also included new behind-the-scenes footage and a whole host of special guest stars, ranging from Lady Gaga to Malaya Yousafzai. Why were they on there? Bobcat, hey, I mean, if you hadn't put yourself out there, I haven't been where I am right now. Crazy how every decision you make has major impacts on not just your life, but other people's lives as well. Well, once you come out, when you come and put yourself out there, people get to see you, and you either, affect people negatively or positively. Sometimes you don't mean to affect people negatively, but some people will have one persona of you, and the other people will have a positive persona of you. That's how life works. And it's like real life. Social media is actually like real life, but it's because people can't literally touch you. So it's a good thing sometimes if you wind people up, you don't get beaten up unless they find you. Friends the Reunion has once again made the beloved sitcom part of the global conversation, as conversations between the cast brought new things to light, like Jennifer Aniston and David Schwimmer having real feelings for each other during the earlier seasons of Friends. Ross and Rachel still have one of the most compelling will they, won't they dynamics in the history of sitcoms. And their breakup in the season 3 episodes, the one where Ross and Rachel take a break, and the one with the morning after, is still the subject of great debate nearly 25 years later. After Ross and Rachel take a break, Ross sleeps with Xerox copy girl Chloe, and I don't blame him, do you? Rachel wants to get back together the next morning, but upon finding out about Chloe breaks up with Ross for good. "We were on a break" remains one of the Friends' most famous in-jokes, and there's still controversy over whether Ross was entirely in the wrong. Now, Friends executive producer and director Kevin S. Bright has weighed in on the debate. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Bright shared his take, stating that, yeah, there was a break. They weren't on a break with honor. On a break, you don't expect someone to move on quite that quickly, admittedly. But they were on a break. Friends co-creator David Crane had a more ambiguous approach, stating, "There's no definitive answer." Oh, you coward. The moral ambiguity surrounding the circumstances of Ross and Rachel's famous breakup is arguably what makes it so famous in the first place, as Crane imagines it as something that the characters can argue about for years. Bright clearly shares the passion for many fans about this subject, firmly taking Ross' side, while also condemning how quickly he moved on to someone else, one of Ross' most controversial moments on Friends. Friends, the reunion, was inevitably going to spark the seemingly internal debate all over again. Fans have been divided over it for multiple. Can you stop sending me notifications? Jesus Christ. Fans have been divided over it for multiple decades. Right. What we got here? Bobcat, you might not be the biggest YouTuber ever, but to those who have the touch... Let's start again. You might not be the biggest YouTuber ever, but to those you have touched positively, I mean, it's something special, man. I try to post your link on my Snap every day. I'll be reminding myself now. Thank you, Bobcat, and I appreciate the support. And you're a much valued member of the community, like you all are. I'm not going to have favourites. No, don't start all that. Bobcat, and I mean, if it works out long term too. I mean, I'm not thinking about that right now, really. But if it does, that's all because of you. Let me give you an analogy. A relationship is like cheese. When you first buy it, it's big and fresh and yellow or white or whatever, right? And it tastes nice. But after a few weeks, it starts to smell and get old. That's a relationship. So enjoy the cheese while it's yellow and fresh and it tastes great. That's my advice. I think that's a fucking excellent analogy. Divided over it for multiple decades, and surely will still be divided for decades to come. One thing fans can agree on is how satisfying it is to see Ross and Rachel get back together in the Friends series finale. The last one, which wasn't always the Friends writers' plan, whether Ross and Rachel were on a break or not, the one with the morning after still remains one of Friends' most memorable and heartbreaking episodes. Thanks to Aniston and Swimmer's unforgettable performances and the directing and the writing, by the way. Let's not forget to add the people who put it fucking together, right? Ronnie Dodge, sorry, I'm back just to answer the phone. Bloody scum is trying it on. If I get, my phone tells me when I get spam calls, unless you've got a landline, of course. So I don't answer unless I recognise the phone number. I don't pick it up. I'm not interested. Do you know what I mean? Bobcat, someone needs to put that on a poster, lol. If you get merch ever, that needs to be on some merch. Definitely. I think it's my fucking best analogy ever. So I'm going to give you my take. I'm going to find my place for my next article. By the way, Bobcat, the next article is about Cruella, so please stay tuned. Right, let's debate the Friends. We were on a break. Right, let's debate this, right. Let's go back to before Ross gets with Chloe. So for weeks and weeks and weeks, Rachel gets this brilliant job. She's a fashion designer or whatever she's doing, and there's this really cool arsehole called Mark. And Mark really wants Rachel. She's always with Mark. And actually, I was in a relationship like this. I was going out with a girl called Celia. And at work, there was this guy called Mark Brown. And, you know, he was going for it all the time. And we were arguing. And I was giving them dirty looks from the deli counter because we all worked in the Co-op supermarket together. Co-op, hey, what fucking memories there. So I was jealous like Ross was. So in the end, this jealousy eats Ross up. Now, Rachel has no intention of going with Mark, but ultimately I can understand why Ross is pissed off because, you know, she's spending extra time with him because he's her boss. So she doesn't, you know, and, you know, it's a difficult position for Rachel, but in the end, I feel Ross is driven to get with Chloe. So what happens is they kind of have a break, right? So he's not planning on having a relationship. He's not moving on from Rachel. There's a beautiful woman there who wants him. He kind of wants her sexually, and they do it. But you can understand why Rachel is upset, of course, because that's all it takes, Ross. But Ross is hurting. He's broken. He thinks that the break is a break up, right? So I was always on Ross's side, but I always understood Rachel's point of view as well. And I think, obviously, they were on a break, but probably not the kind of thing you should be doing. But we're people, and people make mistakes, right? Vodka, oh boy, I'd like Corella. Oh boy, I did like Corella. Ronnie Dodge, I think we need to get Mick more subs. He's a great guy and a total geek like us. Exactly. Well, I'm not going to say I'm a great guy. That's for other people to decide. Ronnie Dodge, seeing it Wednesday in our brand new local cinema. Bobcat, amen, Ronnie Dodge. We need to find a way to advertise him somehow. Yeah, do anything you can, please. It'll be absolutely fantastic. I can't afford to pay you, of course, but... Well, I can afford to pay you. I'm not going to pay you. I probably could afford to pay you. But I never was going to... one of the decisions I made was I was never going to put money into the channel unless I got... If I get 1,000 subs and someone can help me buy the editing software I need, better cameras and all that, I will do it. If I start gaining subs, I'll do that. But when you're under 1,000, you don't know what's going to happen. People follow me and unfollow me all the time. People are fucking weird, aren't they? So... once we get over 1,000 threshold, then we can start being more ambitious, and that will be fantastic. Bobcat, you're already paid me enough, mate. Oh, cool, brilliant. I better check my bank account. Right. So yeah. Now I want to go on and say a little bit more about Friends, because Friends isn't just a situation comedy. One of the things I appreciated about Friends is the humor. Now, normally in American sitcoms, years gone by, Americans have got very dry humor. So in the sitcoms, they were saying things that weren't funny, but that were meant to be funny, and the canned laughter would come in. You think that's not funny, but the thing with the humor in Friends is it's very sarcastic, and Americans are not sarcastic, and that's what made them appeal to a broader international audience. But it wasn't just that. Friends was about these 5-6 characters' lives. It was a bit like a soap comedy, if you like. It was very simple. It was very basic. No one annoyed you. It was just there for pure escapism and entertainment. And that's why that show works. But not only works, it's immortal. It goes on. And people are still watching it today. And people are still begging for a reunion or, kind of more of Friends. It will never happen. And I don't think it should happen. I don't think they could ever get it so right again. I mean... Marta Kauffman, David Crane, and Kevin S. Bryant could reimagine the show with new characters, and as they're talented, they could make it fun again. But I think we've seen these actors now, they're a bit older. Could they still appeal to us? We love them, of course. It's like Only Fools and Horses. You can see that David Jason and Nicholas Lyndhurst are quite older, and it doesn't have the same appeal, and that's just my opinion. So that's Friends. Bobcat, like I said, mate, I do editing for you. Thank you. Ronnie Dodge, I'm going to go, mate. Breakfast has arrived. Lol. I see if I catch the end of the stream. See you later, Bobcat. Well, if you can't catch it, re-watch it on my YouTube later if you want to. But for now, see you later. Bobcat, in America, we don't say mate almost ever. And I was talking to my friend yesterday and I called them mate, lol. You got me saying it, yeah? I'll give you actually a little story. I got a job at a pocket phone shop, and I was selling loads of phones and doing really well on the opening. And so one of the directors came up to me. He goes, "You use the word mate a lot. Are you a West Ham fan or something?" I said, "No." He goes, "Yes, because it sounds very common to say mate." I said, "Look, mate, I just sold you 1,000 fucking phones, so get back in your fucking corner." Right. Corella stars would love a Godfather 2 style sequel with Glenn Close. Disney's Cruella stars Emma Stone and Emma Thompson want to make a sequel with 101 Dalmatians, Glenn Close, in the style of The Godfather Part 2 by Robert Peter Paul, I think that's his name, of Screen Rant. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia glazes out. I'm chilling out tonight, bro. Awesome. Bobcat. It's fun to say mate. It is fun to say mate, but sometimes you can say it in a derogatory fashion. Mate. Listen here, mate. You should watch a show called EastEnders from the UK. They do that. Listen here, mate. You know what, mate? say that to my fucking face, mate. Yeah? Oh, yeah, we can do that. Or we can say, hello, mate. Bobcat, I'd love a Godfather-like sequel. It sounds interesting, actually. Cruella stars Emma Thompson and Emma Stone are vying for a sequel with Glenn Close in the style of The Godfather Part 2. Disney's Cruella de Vil origin film strutted into theatres and Disney Plus on May the 28th. Set in the cutthroat fashion world of the 70s London, the epic tale sees Stone as the fashionable villains pre-101 Dalmatians. Thompson goes head-to-head with her on-screen as the antagonist Baroness von Hellman. Directed by I, Tonya's Craig Gillespie, the movie draws on a rich legacy of materials. You know what's very interesting about this film? I'm surprised Craig was allowed to direct this film. Normally they say women should direct women, but Disney have gone so unwoke with this film, and that kind of attracts me to at least give it a try. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia glazes out. Multiple laughing emojis. What did you find funny? Let me know. Bobcat, Cruella was actually quite good. It's better the second time around as well. I could rewatch it again and probably like it as much as, if not more. It all started in 1956 with the Judy Smith's novel, The 101 Dalmatians. The story was Disney-fied in 1961 and Disney's 17th animated film, and quickly became a family favourite. Close turned things up a notch with her unforgettable portrayal of Cruella de Vil in 1996 in the 1996 live-action remake, 101 Dalmatians, which spawned a sequel due to its massive success. Over 2 decades later, Stone has been met with praise for taking the villain's story centre stage. Naturally, buzz of a Cruella sequel has already started churning. Bobcat, Cruella was actually quite good. It's better. No, I've read that already. Bobcat, it wasn't woke at all. It actually portrayed women in a negative light in some ways. Well, you can't judge people on their genders or how they identify as. It's on their individual merits. But these nut jobs just don't get that. Right. Both Stone and Thompson want to return to the delicious world with a second installment. While chatting with Rotten Tomatoes, it was suggested that the Oscar-winning pair do a Godfather 2 style sequel with Close. They agreed instantly, with Thompson even saying she'd write the film, Stone saying she'd be on board. Thompson gleefully replied, I'm writing the letter now, actually. Does anyone got any paper? Dear Mr. Disney, is he still around? I don't even know. Please, can we do exactly what was just suggested in this interview? I'm sending it. Oh, my God, that's really good. Oh, my God. I love Emma Thompson. She's such a fucking good laugh. If you ever meet Emma Thompson, she's fucking brilliant. She's so English and stoic. She's played so many kind of la-di-da roles, but she's nothing like that in real life. Bobcat, also, they have Disney's first openly gay character, Artie, and studios usually make them annoying, but I actually really liked Artie. That's good to hear. Both of the leading Emmas lit up at the prospect, with Stone saying she'd sign on to anything that Thompson wrote. Meanwhile, Close had previously offered up her own idea for a sequel starring her Cruella. Ahead of the new blockbuster's release, the acclaimed actress said that she wants to prowl the streets of NYC in her trusty black and white wig, while she remains secretive on the concept that she mentioned having Cruella hiding out underground in the sewers. That's interesting as well, although I probably prefer the Godfather thing. Regardless, hungry Disney fans are already pining for more of the wicked fashion designer. Cruella ends with Estella transforming into Cruella de Vil for good, and consequently teeing up 101 Dalmatians. While a sequel hasn't been announced by Disney, the mostly positive critical and audience reception makes it likely that the big mouse will seize another opportunity to rule the box office. However, the plot could take various routes. While enough time has passed that Disney could remake 101 Dalmatians with their Cruella cast, it would be tough to top the live-action original. On the other hand, the Godfather Part 2 approach would basically be a mashup of a prequel and sequel showing both Stone and Close in the role. This could be an epic way to unite viewers from all corners of the Dalmatians fandom and even give Close the Oscar she deserved to win for the role in the first place. Did Glenn Close win an Oscar for Fatal Attraction? If she didn't, it's outrageous. Now, let me tell you what I think about this. Let me tell you what I think about this. I haven't seen Cruella, but I have obviously seen Glenn's 101 Dalmatians, both the movies. I think this will be a wicked fucking idea, but ultimately, right, it's about money. Now, its opening's been solid. I wouldn't say magnificent, but solid. But the problem is, it's probably going to get a drop-off. So we're going to have to wait. And normally what happens is if a film makes so much in its opening, they like green light a sequel straight away. But obviously, they're probably going to wait until it runs totally over and see how it continues to do on Disney Plus as well, because $30 is a lot of fucking money to watch that. Not everyone can afford that. That's an extortionate amount of fucking money. It's funny, isn't it, how they destroyed Warner Media for doing a day-and-date release, and subscribers got to watch those cinematic movies for free, but Disney are charging $30 and nobody fucking says anything. It's as corrupt as fucking hell, right? Bobcat, 100% recommend the film to almost anyone. Bobcat, it's my second favourite live action remake. Although it wasn't really a remake, Aladdin is my favourite. Bobcat, I think they could top the original, if not on the same par as the original. Everyone working with it is that good. Bobcat, then again, that's box office. We've got to factor in Disney Plus as well. I bought it on Disney Plus, so I can rewatch it. Yeah, it's interesting. We'll have to see what kind of it's about money. It's not about reviews. It doesn't matter. You know, it's not about reviews. It's about money. If people hate a movie and it makes money, you know, you're going to get more. It's about what the public think, not what the critics think. You know, a lot of the critics hated Joker, but now we're here with a sequel in development, so that says everything. Right, we're back on the subject of Friends. Friends executive producer reveals the sitcom might be released in 4K. Now, I'd be really down for this because then we can have it, you know, in better quality. Not that it spoils the enjoyment or anything. Friends fans might want even more new content, but executive producer Kevin S. Bright is focused on seeing the original show remastered in 4K by Caroline Walsh King of Screenrant. Friends executive producer Kevin Bright says the show is a candidate for a re-release on 4K. The smash hit series created by Marta Kauffman and David Crane premiered in '94 with the one where Monica gets a roommate. The NBC show follows 620-somethings navigating life and love in Manhattan, a premise at least partially inspired by the success of Fox sitcom Living Single. Friends was critically acclaimed, heavily awarded, and the series finale is the 5th most watched series finale in television history, with 52.5 million American viewers. Bobcat, if it wasn't what I thought it was, and I loved it. Yes, sometimes when you watch a movie and it's not what you think it is, it's so rewarding. Bobcat, I mean, it isn't perfect, but it's really, really good, and it has some amazing shots. 17 years after the sitcom aired its final episode, Friends the Reunion brought the 6 main cast members back together to reminisce on their 10 seasons together as Monica, Ross, Rachel, Phoebe, Joey, and Chandler. The one where they get back together also featured cameos from celebrity guest stars and fans of the show, including Reese Witherspoon, didn't deserve to be there, and Mindy Kaling didn't deserve to be there. Basically, fans should have been there on the sofa with them, not fucking celebrities. Friends' run coincided with several other hugely successful sitcoms, but few shows have permeated the American zeitgeist with such intensity and for so long. Executive producer and frequent episode director Kevin Bright revealed that while no new content is currently planned, the original run of Friends is a candidate to be re-released in true 4K. Speaking with THR, Bright said, "I'd like to see all the shows remastered in 4K for the future. I remastered 12 of the episodes for movie theaters 2 years ago and got to see the original negatives and do color correction on them. It's night and day, even from HD. That's what I'd like to get over the fence next." Yeah, look, what I'm going to say to you is there's going to be a reboot sooner rather than later with these creatives, so be excited about that. But for now, I would buy a 4K Friends box set for sure. Bobcat, Glenn Close was Cruella. Now Emma Stone is Cruella. She's one of, if not my favourite Disney villain now. Well, you know, I told you before, Emma Stone is one of the great actors of today. She reminds me of the 1930s, 40s Vivian Leigh type. She's such a good actor. She really is. Bright, Crane, and Kaufman all emphasized that they were happy with how the show originally ended and emphatically rejected calls for a spin-off series. Well, there was a spin-off series, by the way, with Joey, wasn't there? A couple of seasons. I enjoyed it, and I was sad it was cancelled. Bright produced a 2004 spin-off, Joey, which starred Matt LeBlanc as the beloved Joey Tribbiani, but told THR he wasn't happy with the show's storyline and it didn't capture the same magic of Friends. It didn't. Crane described Friends' success as lightning in a bottle with a perfect cast and noted the low odds of recreating such a massive hit. Friends is currently available to stream on HBO Max in HD. The thing is, they might not think they can do one successfully, but Warner Brothers will want more. And now we know the cast won't come back; they're too expensive. But you can recreate it and do a new version of the series. Now, this is the kind of environment that we live in. It's reboots and relaunches. We're getting Dexter back. I spoke about that on the top of the show. If you can create a new bunch of Friends characters, why not? But it can only be with these producers and writers. Nobody else could get close to it. Several movies, music videos, and even cartoons have gotten special 4K re-releases in recent years, but a 4K re-release of the entirety of Friends would mean remastering 236 episodes. So, if Bright or one of his colleagues takes on this challenge, it could certainly take a while. But with such a strong fan base and so much enthusiasm following the reunion special, a re-release will surely spur plenty of rewatches and maybe even entice some first-time viewers. There's unlikely to be more brand new Friends content anytime soon, given the 17th year gap between the series finale and Friends, the reunion. So a 4K re-release might be exactly what the die-hard fans need to tide them over for another 17 years. You will not have to wait another 17 years to get more Friends content. They will relaunch or reboot the show. I can assure you of that. Bob, I went to my theatre and asked if I could have the poster. I'm picking it up on Tuesday. Lol. Oh wow, Bobcat, they've got a new one in, so I can have the old one. Well, everyone's happy then, aren't they? Right, we move on. This is about the CW's Flash. The Flash needs to fix its female character problem. Oh God. Right, let's give this a read. Bobcat, I'm excited for when they do the Big Bang Theory reboot or reunion. 17 days until the iCarly reboot. I hope it doesn't suck too bad. Yeah, it's probably going to suck. Anyway, The Flash would benefit in its storytelling by exploring the intriguing stories of underused female characters like Cecil Alguera and Christine Kramer. The last thing this show needs is to put the Flash in the background even more. It's bad enough he can't do anything for his fucking self. Anyway, with the upcoming departures of Cisco and Nash, the Flash can finally address its biggest problem: underused female characters. That's not its biggest problem. The Arrowverse show has often had too large of a cast, which results in too little time to tell supporting character stories. Nobody really cares about supporting character stories. People care about the lead. The Flash Season 7 in particular is leaving its female characters on the sidelines, which is holding the show back from achieving its maximum potential. Bullshit. But let me just say this. It is important, if you are going to have plentiful supporting characters, that you do represent them in a good, entertaining way. Now, the only show that's got this down to a T is Lucifer. Lucifer is able to put Tom Ellis on the stage as Lucifer, and recently Michael as well. But these fabulous supporting characters played by these brilliant actors have all got their stage as well. So everyone gets their turn to shine. And very few shows are able to do this. I mean, we spoke about Dexter. I mean, a lot of those characters you just didn't care about, even when they did get something to do. For several seasons, The Flash struggled to give its leading ladies, Iris and Caitlin, active roles. Beyond Iris being Barry's love interest and Caitlin offering scientific support, recent seasons have worked to rectify this by placing Iris front and center in the Mirrorverse arc, giving Candice Patton a worthy showcase. Additionally, Caitlin's ongoing relationship with her other half, Frost, has proved to be especially moving, especially after a dramatic series of events that split the two into separate individuals. Dumb idea. Other female characters on The Flash are still waiting to be fleshed out, and some are already missed opportunities. Cisco's girlfriend and team citizen photographer Camilla is departing the show just as audiences were getting to know her. Alexa, the Hulk-like Frieza, was wiped off the board almost as quickly as she was introduced. There was a great opportunity to learn more about her and Speed Force Nora, but that will be limited now with both in the Speed Force. Out of the characters who are still on the show, Cecile, Allegra, and new antagonist Kristen Kramer are all largely flat characters exploring the perspectives of these women and meaningfully increasing their participation in the show's event would only enrich the Flash. No, it wouldn't. Introduced as a savvy and driven district attorney, Cecile Horton quickly became a dynamic professional and a romantic partner for Joe West. As the two fan favourites worked together on cases, Cecile being on equal footing with her love interest in terms of power and influence set her apart. While she still has an impactful career defending metahumans as she did at Frost's recent trial, she receives less and less screen time despite her having developed metahuman powers. There is a great opportunity for the Flash to pair up Cecile and Iris more, as their careers in law and journalism would naturally intersect. Additionally, with Iris telling Barry she's ready to start a family, it will be only natural for Cecile, who has a young child herself, to bond further. Meanwhile, Kristen Kramer has remained an enigma since coming onto the show and could be shaped as either a formidable antagonist or a powerful frenemy. The Flash has done Kramer a disservice by making her unlikable and unsympathetic, but not particularly compelling. Her reaction to the court's decision to accept Frost Steel for life imprisonment begs further exploration as to her seemingly tragic backstory. Arguably, the character the Flash has mismanaged the most is Allegra, along with the soon-to-be departing Camilla. She represents one of the show's biggest ongoing missed opportunities. While the two play significant roles in the character development of Wells and Cisco, respectively, their own personalities, relationships, and feelings have been completely ignored. The Flash doesn't seem to know who these women are as a result. They're primarily used to give Iris someone to talk to without developing their own independent storylines or personalities. Camilla was instrumental in helping Cisco finally decide to face the future he wanted, yet the show barely touched on who she was as a person. Allegra's metahuman powers have been revealed to be a very formidable form of electromagnetism, yet recent episodes rarely feature any mention of those powers, of their impact on her. Allegra deserves a chance to join Team Flash proper, or at the very least, get something more to do than help Iris. You know what I just realised? This is from Bobcat. If my mom never took culinary, I wouldn't have been born. Wow. Bobcat, every decision, no matter how minor it seems, matters in the long run. It's all a domino effect, my friend. The Flash's top priority going forward should be taking advantage of Cisco and Wells' exit to give its female characters their overdue turn in the spotlight. The show has nothing to lose, yes it has, and everything to gain by utilising its already intriguing female characters and major players in upcoming stories, most importantly by allowing the women of the Flash to interact on a deeper level with each other. Everyone from the cast to the audience will benefit from the richer, no they won't, more authentic storytelling. Right, I'm going to unpackage this for you. So let's go. They're talking about the missed potential of these characters not being represented enough, not getting a stage. The biggest missed opportunity and lack of representation on the Flash is for the Flash himself. This is the problem when every superhero TV show you do is Team Flash, Team Supergirl, Team Arrow. The lead character gets sized down and you barely get a representation for the character. Now, in the first two seasons of Arrow, Diggle and Felicity and Oliver were the only ones, part of this team, right? So we focus more on Oliver and his emotions and his soul and him killing people and his enemies. It was great. And of course, Felicity was there and she was represented great, and so was Diggle. But then the more and more characters they got, the more the interesting Diggle and the interesting Arrow and Oliver Queen, who's the center, the center character of the show, right, gets sized down. And that's the problem. Too many characters. Now, this author, who is Morgan Atland, obviously, I'm assuming she's a woman, wants them to focus more on these women. Listen, a man is the center of this show. He's the priority of the show. But as I said before, Lucifer does a great job of giving everyone their time and, really, developing their characters, and it really works. I think I enjoy those supporting characters the most. But to say because they're women, they need to have more screen time and, develop their characters, if you do that too much, then you take something away from the main character, Barry Allen, the Flash. The problem with this show is that the Flash can't do anything on his own. He needs his team. He needs his family. He needs his wife. That's the problem with the show. And by the way, they've made Iris unlikable now. I mean, you go onto TikTok, people can't stand Iris. And that's disappointing. These people don't even know how to represent women anyway. This show is on the way out. The Arrowverse is on its way out. And we are developing more of an HBO Max DC TV universe and moving away, thankfully, from the Arrowverse. Bobcat, I really want a Cruella sequel. Like, I'd pay to see it now. Could be interesting, especially the Godfather Part 2 thing. Right. Scarlett Johansson wants Black Widow to bring closure following Endgame. Scarlett Johansson wants a Black Widow movie to bring proper closure to the character after Avengers Endgame failed to do so for the fans. By Morgan Atland again. Of course, she's female, so she has to talk about a female character. Scarlett Johansson says that she wants Marvel's Black Widow to bring fans closure following Avengers Endgame. The film, set to release in theatres and Disney Plus on July the 9th, finally gives the character a solo movie, showing how her life was affected after joining the Avengers, set in between the events of Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War. The movie shows Natasha Romanoff confronting her past while taking on a new threat in the form of Taskmaster, a villain who specializes in analyzing and copying the fighting styles of his opponents. Avengers Endgame sees Romanoff sacrifice herself on Volma to allow her team to obtain the Soul Stone. Unlike Iron Man, Black Widow didn't get a funeral to honor her character's sacrifice. Instead, the Russo brothers crafted the scene by the water where the original team creates the plan to undo Thanos' damage using the Infinity Stones. The scene gives depth to the original team, allowing them to express their grief in different ways. However, it fails to truly honor Romanoff like Stark's funeral does for Iron Man. Bobcat, oh boy, I yawned and hurt the under part of my chin. Never done that before. Has anyone else done that before? I think so. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia closes out. I'm happy Manchester United in 2 Group Champion League next year, brother. You know what? The way I'm thinking about our manager and the club right now, I can't even think about the future. This is what Scarlett had to say. Our goal was for them to feel satisfied with this story, that they could maybe have some resolution. I think with this character's death, in a way, it felt like people wanted that. Yes, she should never have been killed off. With a new widow stepping up to take the mantle, Johansson and director Kate Shortland want to give audiences what the Russos failed to give. It felt unfair not to give Black Widow a proper ending, especially since she was the hero putting in the most effort to run the team following the blip and has been involved in the MCU since Iron Man 2. While the sacrifice play made sense for her character and worked for the pacing for the Avengers Endgame, Shortland and Johansson can now give the character and send off she deserves. Black Widow was a major component of what made Phase 1 of the MCU work. Was she? Providing a bridge between the heroes and S.H.I.E.L.D., along with giving the team a character who could draw out the other members. I think you're reaching now, you really are. Personalities with her charm. Black Widow is set to debut various new characters who can fill in the void left after Romanoff's demise. However, they will have big shoes to fill following Johansson's performance as Natasha Romanoff. Black Widow has the chance to give Romanoff a proper send-off, and only time will tell if her solo movie can fix the complaints some had about her demise in Avengers Endgame. I don't think people care that she was honoured or not. People care that she was killed off in the first place. But it looks like Scarlett wanted out, doesn't it? So, you can't force people to remain in part of a franchise. She's a critically acclaimed actress and she deserves more, so good luck to her in the future. Bobcat, is this soccer stuff? I should take notes. No. Probably not that interesting. Bobcat, what about Iron Man? He brought everyone back. Exactly. She's trying to say because she's a woman, she's more important. Pathetic. She's reaching. Bobcat, my man, really reaching. She really is reaching, honestly. Anyway, we get back to Cruella. Cruella star pushes back against critics who call movie too dark and edgy. This is by Michel Mertens of Screen Rant. Cruella star Paul Thomas Hauser dismisses critics calling the film too dark for children, saying you're not watching dogs getting made into coats. Cruella star Paul Thomas Hauser responded to film reviews criticising the new Disney film for being too dark. In the film, the actor plays the character of Horace, a longtime friend and ally to Stone's Cruella. The recently released movie explores the origin story of the titular villain Cruella de Vil, Emma Stone. In London during the 1970s, the iconic antagonist was first introduced in a 1956 children's novel called The 101 Dalmatians. A few years later, Disney famously adapted the source material into a popular animated film of the same name. In 1996, a live-action film titled 101 Dalmatians featured Glenn Close as the campy and ruthless villain. Screen Rant always do this. They have to go back on the entire history to waste time, because then it wouldn't be much of an article because they're not smart enough to write original stuff. Bobcat, it was the perfect amount of dark and edgy. It could have gone more dark. I mean, it is PG-13. What did these people expect? I know it's a conversation. Well, now you know how the Snyder fans feel, right? Upon its debut, Cruella has received notable praise for Stone's casting. Many critics have applauded her whimsical and edgy turn as the memorable villain, acknowledging that her attempts to add a spiky depth to the character helped anchor the narrative. At the same time, overall reviews remain mixed, with reviewers calling out the film's muddled and meandering plot. Although rated PG-13, some viewers have also criticised the movie for its bleak origins, citing worries that it might lean too heavily into threatening themes unsuitable for children. Do you know what? I think children should watch R-rated films. I think children should watch horror movies, because at the end of the day, why do we protect children from the real fucking world? They're going to experience this shit when they watch the news in a few years. Let them fucking watch it, man. Let them fucking see the real fucking world. What are we protecting children from? A fucking film called Cruella? Are you fucking nuts, you snowflakes? Bobcat, the Suicide Squad supposedly has an original song. People getting rolled up that it's an edgy and dark movie. No, it's not. You're not watching dogs getting made into coats. It's an action-adventure crime comedy. Maybe with a lot of heart. And if you don't like Emma Stone, let me start again. If you don't like Emma Stone, and if you don't like Emma Stone and Emma Thompson, you should probably get your pulse checked. Ooh, very passionate. Bobcat, if you have heard it, I don't know. Yes, I have, but I didn't really want to talk about it for obvious reasons. Richie Mo, nearly missed you, Mickey, bro. What's the topic? Oh, well, right now we're talking 101 Dalmatians, maybe being a bit too dark. Not 101 Dalmatians, Cruella, the new movie starring the fantastic Emma Stone. We've talked about Dexter. We've talked about Friends. We were on a break issue. We talked about Friends maybe being released on 4K. We've talked about a great many things, but there's no DC updates today, unfortunately. But of course, we are more than a DC channel. Bobcat, was it a good song? Yes, I enjoyed it. Bobcat, question mark. In the past few years, Disney has invested a number of live-action remakes of beloved animated films. These projects have ultimately culminated in a varied response from viewers and critics alike. When Cruella was first announced, some critics slammed the decision to seemingly humanize a villain. Oh my God, they're so pathetic. Slammed the decision to seemingly humanize a villain who mercilessly sought to skin puppies for a fashionable accessory piece, alluding to the narrative woes of the 2014 film Maleficent. They noted that not all Disney antagonists deserve to have their murderous actions justified with a sympathetic backstory. Some characters are just evil. But you see, SJWs, that's what you're like. People are just evil. Nobody's just fucking evil, you fucking idiots. Have you lived? Are you all rich? SJWs, by the way, and all leftists are all fucking rich. That's why they don't get it. People do horrible things for fucking reasons. We don't know those reasons. How dare you say people are just evil? Nobody's just fucking evil, you fucking nut jobs. You know who the biggest evil people are? SJWs and all leftists. They've got no balance in their discussions and they disgust me. Bob, Gunn said it would be a classic pop song. Do you agree? How could I ever disagree with James Gunn? Rishi Mo, I loved Friends growing up, but I didn't see the reunion. I haven't seen the reunion yet. I don't have access to HBO Max, but I've seen enough of it on the internet. Yes, Friends was amazing. It wasn't just a comedy. It was a comedy with a kind of a global humour of sarcasm rather than the dull, dry American wit. I really enjoyed it. The emotions, the character developments of the characters, the actors were great. It's an absolute classic and always will be. Despite these concerns, Cruella has maintained a steady hold at the box office. Moreover, both Stone and Emma Thompson have shared their interest in a possible sequel, exploring the rivalry between their two characters. Tellingly, the prequel centers more on Cruella's attempts to get revenge on her own arch-enemy rather than an obsession with killing Dalmatian puppies and showing off a coat made of dog fur. Whether or not future sequel would dare touch such a sinister narrative in real life remains to be seen. Probably not, because we got too many fucking snowflakes out there, right? Because you know she doesn't actually really kill puppies because it's fiction. It isn't fucking real. Yeah, nut jobs. And the final article for today, which I'll be reading shortly, is about the Rocky IV director's cut, which I'm really, really excited about. Bobcat, is it directed toward the Suicide Squad or just a random pop song? I'm not going to tell you. Bobcat, Cruella deserves more credit. Basically, I can't tell you more than if James isn't willing to say, you know, more than that, I can't either, because it's not right. Okay, James Gunn's made the film. He doesn't want certain things to be revealed, so I've got to respect that as well. Right. Bobcat, Cruella deserves more credit. Yes. Basically, the point is that critics didn't really like this film. They basically marveled about the music and the fashion, but didn't really say much about the story. That tells me they didn't like it. Sandra reviews, if Spider-Man are using the Sinister Six, then Flash should have the Legion of Doom. We just don't know what they're going to do. They could be the new villains of the new arc, the multiverse strategy, DCEU Phase 2. That would be awesome, Sam. Rishi Mo, can't wait for Rocky IV director's cut. When's it coming? I don't know when he's releasing it, actually. I don't even think he's mentioned the date. I think he's just finished with it and he's starting the marketing. But I'm very, very excited. But he's cut the fucking robot out. I love that robot. Happy birthday, Polly. Happy birthday, Polly. Happy birthday, Polly. You're the best, boss. Bobcat, it wouldn't make sense for the Flash to have the Legion of Doom. I think it'll be Brainiac. It could be Brainiac, but the Legion of Doom doesn't have to be a Flash-centric thing. You know, they could leak out whatever they do, right? And they could be the threat of the future. But so there's always sense in things if they're done properly. So what was I talking about? Yeah. So by the way, a big week if you're an MCU fan. This week should be the week we see the trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home and the posters and the big marketing launch. Now, I wouldn't get too excited about this trailer. You'll probably see Doc Ock because he's been announced. But maybe William Dafoe. But I'd be shocked. I mean, it'd be great marketing if they reveal Andy Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spideys. So it's a big week. And because it's a big week for the MCU, I expect DC to do something this week to try and rival that as well. So this week could be a massive week for the DCEU and the MCU. It will definitely be a big week for them. Sam Dejan reviews, they have all the villains to do Legion of Doom. Bobcat, I'm a Spider-Man fan, not really an MCU fan. Richie Mo, no way. I hope Sly hasn't butchered it with today's point of view. No, don't be silly. He hasn't filmed anything new. He's put some scenes that he had there before. So, no, there's not going to be nothing like that. But he's taken out the robot. He clearly didn't like the robot. I don't know why. You'd have to ask Sly. Sly does do Q&As. We will be talking and reviewing about the Rocky IV, the director's cut. I'm really excited to see. I love the original film. I think that the Rocky franchise is my favourite movie franchise of all time. What a success. He's a great writer, a great actor, and a great director. Love you, Sly Stallone. We're going to read the article in a minute. Bobcat, the Suicide Squad trailer 2? Maybe. I think we will get another one. For sure. This will be the last one, I think. So watch out for that. Sanders and reviews: Deathstroke, Dr. Poison, Cheetah, Black Manta, Dr. Savannah, Lex Luthor, Deathstroke. Be interesting. It'd be interesting. Unlikely, Sam, but it's a good idea. Sanders and reviews, led by Reverse Flash. Now that would interest me because I love Uabard form. Anyway, let's read our final article for today. Sylvester Stallone shares a new poster for Rocky IV Director's Cut. Now, I'm not sure. This looks like the poster. Looks pretty cool. I think this is the poster. I don't know if it's a markup by Screen Rant, but looks pretty cool and interesting. So I like that. So yes, Rocky Balboa actor Sylvester Stallone releases a new poster for Rocky versus Drago, the Ultimate Director's Cut, but says it isn't the final artwork. Interesting. So basically, he's not calling it. Maybe is he not calling it Rocky IV? Is he calling it Rocky versus Drago? Wow. Sylvester Stallone has revealed a new poster for Rocky IV. Rocky IV's upcoming director's cut. Rocky is by far one of Stallone's most popular characters to date. Oh, and sorry to have to let you in on this, Screen Rant, one of the most successful franchises of the world. In the 80s, he was known as the box office champion of the world. Sorry, MCU Shields. Where are we? Emmanuel Cross, Henry Cavill in future DCEU films. I have nothing new to say. I am confident he has a future. Rishi Mo, I heard that it's Marvel Comics that are announcing something, not the MCU. Another thing MCU is in charge of, Spidey's advertising. Forget about MCU announcements, but the trailer will be launched by Sony and the marketing this week. Bobcat, woo, great week. Got my girl, possibly a new The Suicide Squad trailer. Question is, which do I like better? The poster or the trailer? Richie Mo, Sony is in charge of the advertising for Spider-Man. That's right. Bobcat, joke, lol. Right. Where was I? Sylvester Stallone has revealed a new poster for Rocky IV's upcoming director's cut. Rocky is by far one of Stallone's most popular characters to date, and the franchise was still getting started when Rocky IV came out in 1985. Even with Stallone's writing and directing several of the sequels, not all of them were as well received as the original, which won 3 Oscars in 1977. However, the fourth film is considered to be one of the strongest sequels, partly because of the feud between Rocky Balboa and Ivan Drago, Dolph Lundgren. Drago's story was strong enough to continue in Creed 2 when Adonis Johnson went up against Drago's son, Victor. But Stallone announced last July that he was working on a director's cut of Rocky IV. The director's cut, officially titled Rocky vs. Drago. Wow, he is calling it that. He's calling it Rocky vs. Drago. The ultimate director's cut is said to eliminate some of the film's sillier moments, such as Paulie's robot, while adding back in deleted scenes, including additional footage of Apollo's fight with Drago. Throughout the past year, Stallone has kept fans updated on his editing process, and it's even releasing a behind-the-scenes documentary about the project. Wow, can't wait for that. Richie Mo, what's this thing about a song in the Suicide Squad? Could you explain, please, Mick? There's an original song in the Suicide Squad. That's it. Stallone recently took to Instagram to share a new poster for Rocky vs. Drago. The actor-director explained that this is not the final artwork and that the movie will first premiere in Philadelphia. Stallone's original post can be seen below. Let's have a look at this. I'm going to screenshot this. Can I screenshot this? Oh, wow, that's awesome. Wow, looks awesome. I'll do it later. Anyway, let's go back to the bloody article. Thanks for that. So where are we? Right, so aside from Rocky versus Drago, the Rocky franchise is still continuing, just without Stallone. Stallone had a key role in Creed and Creed 2, starring Michael B. Jordan, but the latter effectively wrapped up Rocky's storyline, reuniting him with his son and grandson. Despite Rocky not returning for Creed 3, the project is currently in development and will mark Jordan's directorial debut. Some may be disappointed that Creed 3 won't involve Stallone, but that is partly why there is so much hype for the director's cut of Rocky 4. Stallone has completed Rocky vs. Drago, but at this point it's unknown if it will be available in theatres or on a streaming service when the release date finally comes. While Stallone and his crew missed the opportunity to release the recut on Rocky IV's 35th anniversary last November, that could mean that the movie will be released at the end of this year. If the director's cut of Rocky IV really is coming soon, as Stallone suggests in his post, then it's only a matter of time before a trailer is released to accompany this poster. And I can't wait. Bobcat, all right, Mickey, better go to bed. See, it's 4:20 a.m. and got to get up early as it's Memorial Day for us. And I've got family members who served in the military, so it's a little bit bigger for us. Oh, I must admit, I don't really understand Memorial Day. I don't know anyone who fought a wars and died. So it's a difficult one. And I think I'll keep my views on wars and things like that to myself, because I know it means different things to different people. So I hope you have a good day with that. And I hope you remember, people in your family who died and sacrificed their lives. So have a good one with that, Bobcat. Bobcat bed, Richie Mo. Good night, Bobcat. Bobcat, good night, Richie Mo. So, by the way, we go back to Rocky and just, I don't know if you know, but Sylvester Stallone is working on a Rocky prequel when he was if he was a teenager. I think it's when he was a teenager. And that will be a streaming TV show. So I'm very excited. And this is why he's moving away from Creed and allowing Michael B. Jordan to kind of helm that. Bobcat, night chat. Make sure to leave a like, everyone. Thank you, Bobcat, for your support. It's absolutely fantastic and important and vital to me. Bobcat, okay, I'm out. Night, everyone. Right. So, yes, that's exciting. A Rocky prequel when Rocky was a teenager, being developed by Sylvester Stallone, and of course he'll probably write and direct all the episodes, because that's just how Sly swings. Anyway, it's been a fantastic stream, one of my most epic Big Mouth daily lives I have ever done, spanning over an hour. It's like a Zack Snyder movie. I hope you enjoyed the updates and the conversations. I will be back tonight from 6 p.m. UK time for the Big Mouth Live. Right now, I don't know what we'll be discussing. I'm going to say, let's hope we've got some breaking entertainment news. We may, by the time I come back on live, on the stream, we may have a brand new Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, and I'm so pumped for this film. Richie Mo, who should play a young Rocky, do you think? An unknown. I don't want to see anyone who exists in fame and fortune or entertainment right now. I want Sly to do a big auditioning kind of run and just bring the best actor for the job. Obviously needs to look slightly like him and have his mannerisms, so it would be a great young actor. Actually, someone that we know who could probably mimic anyone but who looks nothing like Sly would be Freddie Highmore. He's already played Psycho. He's brilliant in The Good Doctor. He can do anything. That's the only one that we know in the industry right now that I would go near, but otherwise I would go for an unknown there. So anyway, really exciting. We could be talking about a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Maybe it's later this week, but it could be today. We will wait and see, but I'll be back tonight, 6 p.m. UK time, for the Big Mouth live stream. It's the one everyone wants to get involved with, but never does. Anyway, follow me over on Twitter, @MoviesTVMad, and I'll be back tonight, 6 p.m. UK time. Until then, goodbye, George Butler. Bye. See you later. Richie Mo, a fresh face. Yeah, that's a good idea. And I know, people are fan casts, or people are obsessed with fan casts and putting this actor or that famous actor. But how about we go with someone who is the best for the job? Something entertainment don't really want to do these days. Anyway, see you tonight, 6 p.m. UK time for Big Mouth Live. Until then, goodbye.